My question has to deal with the fact that the mentoring and et cetera there at King's School, and when we have the martial arts part, I understand that martial arts is it helps people develop discipline, and also it improves possibly the academics. And also, I'm looking at it in terms of what kind of introspection is going to be going on as it relates to those children. And also, are we going to be talking about developing a sense of self? When you talk about bullying, we need to look at it in terms of how do we find a core reason for bullying. And we have to understand something as it relates to the development of young people. And I know that bullying happens all over within Fresno Unified. Some is the physical kind of bullying, and some is the psychological kind of bullying. And it not only from students, but also from educators also. So I'd like to know, how do you go about developing the idea of a sense of self? When people find out who they are, then people don't necessarily bully one another.
Great questions. Thank you. Trustee Johnson. Good evening, President Chavez and Superintendent Hanson, members of the board. Tonight I'm joined by Ms. Mickey Valentine, the Executive Director, and also Mr. C.J. Jones, the Program Director of the Hand in Hand Mentoring Program, and they're here to answer any questions you have about their program, including the martial arts and the bullying components.
Good evening. I guess I would first like to address your questions about the program and how they determine a sense of self. We created a really comprehensive program for the kids, which will address some of the negative behaviors and with the program that we created, we know that a lot of the behaviors are learned, and we are going to have a mindfulness group where we'll be able to address some of the issues as they occur. And we'll also use some of the models, DBT, to help identify some of the core beliefs that may be quite illogical and to help them to establish new behaviors.
I don't have any more questions, but I just threw that out because I want a response, because I understand to some extent, a great extent, what bullying is all about, because I also understand, the historical thing of our society and all of these sociological kinds of things of our society as it impacts communities such as the King School. So that's why I asked the kind of questions that I asked.
Yes. And I believe CJ.
Good evening. Good evening. Basically, our program, we also have a hand-in-hand program. When kids getting bullied, and we'll be referred to, they go to the office, and then we have them come to our program and meet with a therapist where kids can figure out what are the differences, because in West Fresno, it's probably one of the worst gang areas probably in Fresno. Every corner that you turn to is a lot of street gangs, so a lot of kids don't really interact with each other a lot because they're from different areas. So what we try to do is break that cycle, and our program is probably one of the programs probably most needed in probably almost every school in Fresno. I think that it's time for us to really look at getting into the surface of bullying. It's all different kind of bully, different ways, but we want to figure out a way that we can be a major impact in our community, and I think that this program that we have would pretty much fit it. What we have going right now with the therapists on campus, meeting with parents and meeting with kids. And instead of getting kids kicked out for bullying, we have with kids that work together for 2 to 3 weeks, building that relationship and figure out what were the differences and how this all come about.
All right, thank you. Member Johnson, did you want to make a motion?
I move for approval.
All right.
Second.
Moved by Member Johnson, seconded by Member Davis. Before we vote, do have Mr. Fabella that would like to speak on this item.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, sir, you have 2 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you, Board. In reading this, I think it's a superb, reading it sounds like a superb program, and I think King is a great recipient of it. But I was also going to ask, why couldn't we have a few other schools, I know it's a pilot program, but why couldn't we have a few other schools take this program also? I know Columbia could use some help, Adams as well. I know the school down my block, Slater, is in tremendous need. I mean, you want to think about this. The principal that was there before, she decided to go back to teaching, and you're thinking, oh, lovely, a nice elementary school, right? She went back to teaching at a maximum security state prison, okay? She left Fresno Unified and went to teach at a maximum security state prison because, as she put it, it's a better environment. Yeah, you get paid for it, but you know what? But I got to tell you, you got security there. People are gonna mess with you, and when the people are in that place, they're there to learn. Okay? Teachers there, I know a lot of teachers who were there when I was there have transferred out. They've gone to different schools. There's tons of bullying going on, tons of fighting going on in classrooms, violence towards teachers as well as towards administrators. So, that school, I think, is in dire need of this type of program. And now I hope that, we spent a lot of money, and I'm not going to say it again, okay? But $46,000, I think we can spend more on a few more schools, and expand this program, even though it is a pilot program. But if this company has the ability to do that, and I'm not sure if you do, but if you do, then we could expand this to a few more schools that are in desperate need of this type of program. Thank you. That would be a real challenge and a real test of whether it works or not. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Motion's been made by Member Johnson, seconded by Member Davis. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item A7, Member Mills.
Thank you, President Chavez.